Alright, in-person me this time. So now that we finished the prototype for this, I will be doing a cleaned up version with a bunch of different mods. And in between the end of the last video now, I've done a lot more fine-tuning on some parts and really making sure that everything will fit together well. And this time I'll be doing a bunch of mods. Of course, the main one being a new screen that I have right here. See, I have a upgraded battery, USB-C charging, a new speaker, and let's see, where did I put it? Let's see, we have an amp mod, and let's see, we have the directional board that we'll be using. And then one of the new ones I'm doing on this is changing the colors for the power indicator LEDs. So I ordered a bunch of ones. Let's see, these two are purple. Let's see, there's two in here that are blue, and these two are pink. So these are just to replace like the red, green, and orange indicators that would be on the side. This is just so that I could also move them around, because for the prototype, I tried removing them off the motherboard. Terrible process, could not do it. And I actually broke two of them, I think. But this time, I don't have to remove it, I'll just be using wires for that, so hopefully that goes better. And then another thing this time, instead of individually soldering a wire from the motherboard to the cartridge connector, instead I tried my hand at designing a PCB, or actually two PCBs. One that will solder onto the motherboard, and then I have a bunch of these that will solder onto this, so that I could just run a cable, just run one of these cables onto it. And then this one will have the cartridge reader on it, so it'll essentially just be like, plug in the cable right here, plug in the cable right here, and then solder all these down to the correct parts, and hopefully that should work. And that should save so much work if it goes well. God, I hope it goes well. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty much all the same. Let's see, I have this nice quality case I got off of AliExpress. I can't remember the company, but I asked for some help on this online, and I was recommended a certain company to order from, or a brand that if you're just able to find, use theirs for DMG shells. So this is the one I got. And then let's see, I also got some white buttons to match it, because I'll do black case, white buttons, and then just put it down right there. And then of course we have a bunch of move some stuff around. And of course we have a bunch of 3D printed parts. These two have seen the most changes since last time, purely because they now have to fit a different screen. And this back got a lot of changes. Right here will be the side for the LEDs indicator to show through, so they'll be wrong side. They'll be right here next to the charging port. And I also have a slot right here for where did I put it? Like a small acrylic plastic to fit in, just to fit in right there for protect the LEDs. And I'm gonna try scratching it on one side a bit, so maybe it could become a bit of a diffuser. I believe that's what they're called, but I'll try that out. And then let's see, the rest of the 3D printed parts. Let's see, got a completely different battery thing. Let's see, got stuff for the charging port. Got the power switch, speaker stuff right here, and then the power and sound switch one. Let's see, the one to hold the motherboard in place, another power one, and then the volume slider. So printed all of them in white to match the white buttons, going for, you know, black and white color. And on the screen, or on the front piece right here, I've already done some work where I completely cut away the bezel right that would have been right here. As you can see right here, that's been slightly trimmed, but this is just to fit the new IPS screen, where, let's see, I can just kind of hold it in place. Where, let's see. Let's see, and the screen still does have the plastic protector on it. Just hold it all in place. So this is what it would look like. And then there was going to be a bit of a gap, so I also adjusted the file for the frame to where this part would stick out. Yeah, should be completely centered and everything. Yeah, we'll just check that out. And then, of course, this back piece also has a bunch of grooves to help hold the PCB board and the cables in place. And then for the touch sensor, also right here will be the spot that I'll be taping it down to right here. So when you put it in, it'll be about, oh geez, there it goes. Alright, so it'll be right here, which on this side will be right here. And then I did test it a while ago, that it would work through the plastic. I haven't tested it recently, so I should probably try and do that again. Some of these might go through changes. Yeah, might go through some changes as I go through it, just because of fine tuning. And one thing is, I tried doing shoulder buttons. Couldn't really get them to fit all that well in here. And to be honest, most of the games I play don't really ever use the shoulder buttons. Like, the only one I could think of would be one of the Pokemon games. But even then, the shoulder buttons are really just like for the help menu. So I'll just be completely ignoring those. And I probably won't get to them in the future. Maybe I will, but no idea. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. And I have another 3D print, but it's not here. No. Another thing is, with the new spacing for the PCB parts, I had to change the battery cover. And I don't know where I put my 3D printed one, but because this part was too tall, it would be pushing down on the PCB board, causing it to bend a bit, and which made it just really difficult to deal with. And it also like wouldn't fully go through all the way, so I 3D printed a new one of these, which is pretty much exactly the same, except this piece it's about half as tall, as you can see. But that's pretty much everything. Other than cutting out the frame right here and all the screws that would be connected to it, I haven't really done anything connected to this yet, so I'll be going through the process with you. And let me move everything out the way now. And so the first things first will be taking out the motherboard out of this. I got a perfectly working one on eBay. The one that's in the prototype right here, I got damaged, which saved some money. Because I believe it had a broken screen, but I just got a replacement for that. And I believe the shoulder buttons weren't working, because when I tried to test it out for the shoulder buttons I was trying to do here, they just wouldn't work, and I soldered everything correctly as far as I could tell, so I just don't think the shoulder buttons were working. This one's completely fine, turns on and everything. But yeah, so first things first, I'm gonna take out the motherboard out of here, which is convenient. Don't have to take out the screen at least, since we only need the motherboard. And I'll talk to you again after I do that. Alright, so after removing the motherboard, I just set aside everything else. The only things you really need from the original is the motherboard, this speaker protector thing, and the 3 screws that were, I think there should be a third one right here, yeah, that were holding down the motherboard in these circles right here. Other than that, don't need anything else in there. Alright, so as far as the way I'm doing it, because I'm getting a upgraded battery and a brand new speaker, so if you want to do this yourself, you could keep those components, but everything else for this one, don't need. But that comes to the next part, which is a lot of soldering. I am going to remove I'll just leave that on there for now. I'm going to remove a couple things. Everything's actually on this side that we're going to remove. Let's see, you got the charging port and the connector port. I'm going to remove these two. I'm going to remove the 2 shoulder buttons. I'm going to remove the cartridge reader, powered button or switch, volume slider, and then the game mode reader. I'm going to remove all of these off of here. Oh, and the battery connector right here. I'm going to remove all of them as carefully as possible because I don't want to mess this up and ruin the board somehow. But yeah, just what is that, 7 things? 8, wait no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remove 9 objects or items from here. I am keeping the power switch, cartridge reader, game mode reader, volume slider. You can get rid of everything else on here. But those 4 are the only ones you really need. So I'll be back in a minute or an hour, depending on how slow this goes. So talk to you again then. Alright, so I desoldered everything off of the motherboard. Got rid of the shoulder buttons, cartridge reader, on and off switch, volume slider, the game mode reader, and the charging port and the connecting port, whatever that one's called. And right here I have the 4 items that we still need: the cartridge reader, the game mode switch, volume slider, power slider, or button, whatever they're called. But so I'm going to put these off to the side for now. And next thing I'm going to do is prep the case. So first things first, already got rid of the bezel around here and smoothed it down. Also got rid of all of the posts that would have been connecting to that. Now on this side, really just have to get rid of this battery box right here. Just gonna go all the way up to like right here, all the way around. Just get rid of that. Well, I'm also going to cut this metal bracket to the right size because I trim off a good chunk off the bottom right here. And then also going to be getting rid of the post right here. And also I'll be getting rid of one of these. Which one is it? I'll also be getting rid of this post. And then of course also lowering this bit down to like around right here and widening the gap right here on both sides. So that's pretty much it for case prep. Oh, and also gonna have to lower one of the posts. Let's see. Gonna have to shave down this post so that's just like underneath the board. So yeah, this one. But yeah, that's really all you need for the case prep work. Oh, and also something I already did is let's see. Most of the case will have like a bar like this wrapping around it, and on this side you'll have it sticking up right here and right here. And so I just got rid of that, just made that flat. But yeah, so I'm gonna go cut them all right now. See how well that goes. Alright, so here we are after trimming up this back piece and the shell, which went actually worse than the prototype one, because on the sides up here I accidentally got too much away and there's holes right here, and same thing on this side. And also because it's black, the markings of the sanding really stands out a bit more on this compared to the beige color. But other than that, everything went well. Got rid of the battery part, this post, everything that's laid down here. Widened it and lowered the bracket right here. And then for this one, really just got rid of the straight up part that would have been right here. And then also got rid of the fourth screw post that would have been on right here. And that should be good for that, but I'm gonna put this all to the side for now. And let's see, put this off to the side. And now I'm going to solder stuff to the motherboard. Right now we're just going to deal with this side only. Everything on this side, which is the directional board stuff, all the cables for it, the new speaker, along with the speaker amp, which I have right here. So yeah, just everything on this side, we're going to deal with that right now. Okay, so I have decided to do the battery right now. This way, afterwards, I'll be doing the LEDs and then the power switch. That way, I could turn it on and then see if the LEDs work. And then I'll also plug in the screen at the same time to make sure that works still. And see, right now I'm just prepping the wires. Alright, and I'm back and I got it on. So now I just have to do that 2 more times. Jeez, okay. Let's see. So now for the almost dead. So we got pink. Oh, geez, where'd it go? Okay, I have no idea where that went. I turn away for 2 seconds and I immediately lose it. Okay, well, this is why I got 2 of each color. So, I have another pink. That is all 3 of them. Woo. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is flip you over. Try to plug in this cable right here. And I find it's best to kind of shove all the cables in this gap right here. There. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the 3 screws that were used to hold down the motherboard. Essentially, they're going to be doing the same thing. There we go for that. And of course one came loose as I was doing that, of course. So now I have to undo. Okay, jeez. Hate it when this happens. Right. Now that I got all the batteries or LEDs in, and also put them in their position right here with the slots, So it should be blue, pink, purple. Hopefully that's the correct pattern and that they'll actually turn on. So now I'm going to do the power switch, which is this one. And it needs to get all the way up here, so these will be the longest cables used in this. Let's see. How long should that be roughly? Do you want to give it a bit of slack? So that's somewhere around here. And then let's see, I need 4 of those. Now that I've got the power switch on, which was so much more difficult than it needed to be, let's try turning it on. Nice, nice. LEDs. Not working. Nice. If anything, I probably got them backwards, so let's turn that off. And then I'll take them out and just swap them. So, it's been like 3 days since the last clip that you would have seen with the LEDs. Don't know how, but that went wrong. I removed the LEDs with a hot gun. First time using a hot gun. But I messed up somehow during it, and now the board won't turn on. So that sucks. So I had to transfer everything on over to the prototype board, which I really didn't want to do. But here we are. So it might look a bit different on here right now. Let's see, yeah. Transferred everything over, the new speaker, sound mod, amp mod, power switch, the new battery, and then this thing. This thing was on beforehand, just because I was trying to make a PCB board to replace having to individually solder each wire to the cartridge connector or reader. And then this is the other part. So I had these in the prototype already to like just make sure everything was working. And yeah, so I designed these. Went okay, you know, could have gone better, but could have been worse. These were my second of the design versions. And yeah, they went pretty well. Unfortunately, the main thing I wanted to do was to make it be able to solder directly onto the board. Kind of like the USB-C charging with like the pins right here, how you're able to just put it directly onto the board. Couldn't figure out how to do that. So here we are with each one individually soldered to it. And then to here. And then I have a bunch of these cable readers, which when I got off of AliExpress, I thought I was buying 6 of them. They were like $1.20 each. So I thought that was good for an individual one. And then when they showed up, I realized it was $1.20 for a 10-pack. So I ended up with 60 of these. Which is crazy. And then, let's see, these ones are actually like version 1 of the design, because I made 2 different ones. They're almost identical, just a bit different in the shapes, and some of the tracing outlines, especially on this piece, are quite different. Just because I just got the order backwards. And then also, I will have to solder a wire from the motherboard directly onto here, because this whole section is not working. And it's also kind of messed up on here, because to get everything to fit, I had to cut it a bit. And then I ended up cutting the traces so that is not good. But yeah, other than that, it's essentially just the same thing as before, where get the back piece, hold that into place, and then you kind of just put it on top, use the same screw post to get that into place. But yeah. So, but right now, the next thing I'm going to do is battery holder, and before I get onto that, actually, I have to abandon the LED clip thing because I could not get that to work for the life of me, and that was part of the reason why the board got messed up, and so I'm just not confident in doing it anymore, which is annoying because now I won't be able to tell if it's almost dead or not. But I'll just deal with that. I'll just charge it randomly whenever I feel like it, I guess, or after a long use period. But yeah, everything else should still be working fine. The charging port on this one is really messed up, but there's not much about that. And I also trimmed them down just to get the length correct. But yeah, so battery case. So this one looks a bit weird. Has this really long thin part, I guess. This is really just to hold the battery in place. And then I had to lower it a good amount just so that it wouldn't interfere with the cartridge reader, because if it was too high up, because it'll be about right here or so, because the original plan was to keep it like right here, but it'd be interfering with this a bit, so I had to lower it a good amount just so that I won't. Oh yeah, and underneath here I have the 2 screws, so I'm just going to unscrew that one and screw this one in on top. No, actually, it'll be better to plug in the cable right here for that. So this is the cable I have right here. Just goes in like this, and I had to do this fold right here just to get it so that it would flip over correctly. I'm gonna put this in first because the battery will actually cover it. So that should be good. Alright. Alright, and the next thing I would like to do would actually be the volume slider. Let's see where I put it. Right here. And I also have some pre-cut cables for it. This is just so that I could start putting these pieces over here together, along with these pieces. That's a bit messed up. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then also this piece right here is part of that. So it'll just be the same as before. And then unfortunately on this one, the pin next to the 4, or the trace pad next to 4, got lifted off. But luckily, that is an extra pad that does nothing, so yay for that. And I'm back, so now I'll actually screw everything down, or just the power button and the volume switch slider thing, and that will require these 3 parts, or 4, 3 3D printed, and the 4th one's just the power switch. So first things first, just gonna put that down right there. Next, just got this orientate it right. And this one goes right here. And next will be getting the volume slider in. Alright, there we go. Finally got that part done. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, that's a bit rough. But whatever. Let's see, next bit is the charging port. These two or these three pieces. And that should be everything. So let me just double check. Everything looks good, nothing's bridged. And then plug it in. Okay, well, LED doesn't work on this one, so I'm just gonna have to assume that's charging. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to assume that's charging. And then I can actually move this away. And then just put that in right there. And then back piece. And then 2 more screws. Let's see, Phillips. Might be a bit flimsy right there, but I could always reinforce it later. Okay, and let's see, this is already kind of prepped. Just soldered down the cartridge reader and game mode reader to the pins, and then soldered down the ribbon cable connector thing, and then I used some Kapton tape to tape it down. Just because I was having some issues with it lifting up. And then same thing on this side for taping it down. And so let's make sure that's all the way up. yet again just to see if everything works. And there's no logo. Shoot. Alright, well, give me a moment to figure that out. So, I figured out what was wrong. I literally just forgot to solder cables from the motherboard to the game mode reader. Just doing that because I messed up with this PCB board, so you can't really solder onto this one to trace it all the way up here. But yeah, it works completely fine. And yeah, works completely fine. So I'm gonna flip that back over and close it up. Alright, let's see. Got the back piece now. Let's see, hold on, give me a moment. Alright, so need this piece. And these guys. So these are the original screws that were used to hold this in place, and we're going to be using them again. So I'm just going to take that out. And then annoyingly, it's just I have to position it weirdly. Let's see where I put the screws. Only need 3 of them. Make sure none of the cables are being pinched on. And let's see. Oh, jeez. Where did that go? Alright, found it. And only need 3 screws for this, and happen to have here. I believe these are all, let's see, tri-wing? Yeah, tri-wing. Screwdriver for that. And then actually, I think I still do need to cut these down a bit more, just because there's not enough depth because of the back piece that I 3D printed. That is the new part that these are screwing into. Let me pop it open. Yeah, these need to be trimmed down a bit. And I totally forgot to 3D print a new one of these, so I guess I just have this blue one from the prototype one that was just used for this temporarily. And yeah, let me trim these down slightly. Or actually, I could just use the screws from the prototype because they should already be trimmed down. And this one, and they're all Phillips, so I'll change back. So yeah, these ones are just trimmed down. Don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, this was about full length one, so not too much. Just a little bit. This is really the only main issue that I find. Just because we're only using 3 screws. I have to remove the 2 in here because the battery box was in the way. And then I have to remove the one down here because the cartridge reader / the game mode reader would be in the way. So there's only these 3 holding it down. which makes this happen. But other than that, that's really the main issue. That, and of course, empty slot for the LEDs that they were going to be. And then this battery replacement shell. I'll probably print one out in black soon and just swap it out. Yeah, that is everything. Let's put this one back in. Fits in nicely. Here we are after finally finishing everything about this. Got it all together. It's all working. Except for the stupid LED part, but don't know how that happened. Yeah, here it is, fully done. Flip it around too. Also got the black battery case for it. Still messed up on this side, or both sides. Yeah, volume slider working pretty good. Charging port, haven't tried that out yet, because this hasn't gotten down to being almost dead yet, so I can't really tell if it works or not at this point. And then, annoyingly, LED port that didn't go the way I wanted it to. But other than that, everything works. All the games work well. Like, here, I'll try it with my knockoff Fire Red, because I spent all my money on this, so I can't afford the actual thing. And just toss it in, sticks out, good amount. And just turn it on. Let me turn off the sound too. Of course. Alright, there it goes. Just have to blow on the cartridge. Yeah, everything's working. Let's see. I haven't opened up this save file in I don't know how long. About 4 or 5 years. Let's see. Where is this? Oh, is that the casino? I'm at the casino. Just doing some lighthearted gambling. Yeah, everything works. Up, down, left, right. Let's see. Yeah. Select works, and what Pokemon do I have on here? Yeah. Why are they numbered? And what the heck? Chansey. My team is full of Chanseys. Huh. Well, that's random. Okay, why is it full of Chanseys? Lucky egg, that's what, okay. Catching them all, try and get a lucky egg. Okay, well, that's stupid. Okay, can't believe I made my whole team Chanseys, but either way, yeah. A, B works perfectly. That is weird, I didn't think I'd have a bunch of Chanseys on my team. Random. Yeah, turn it off. Take it out. And then let's see. Pop in Final Fantasy Legend 1. We want this cartridge too. Yeah. Yeah, working for this. Yeah. And button's working, this works fine. Exit the town. Yeah. See, and the volume gets quite loud with this. That is full blast, okay. Yeah, quite loud. But yeah, that is everything. This is great. Love the new screen. I might touch on this again in the future. Maybe I'll try to get that LED thing to work. maybe I'll add the connecting port, maybe trade Pokemon or something. If I were to, I'd probably do that down here where this volume jack used to be. Headphone jack used to be. And then, yeah, maybe figure out why this didn't work. But, yeah, you can still see the green and the red still works on this motherboard. So if it gets low, I'll be able to see that. And then I'll try charging at the time, but yeah. That's pretty much it. And then, yeah, everything works. One thing I didn't mention in the video, but realized afterwards. Oh, jeez. For Game Boy Color games, I had to shave down this part right here. By what would that be? A 1/4 inch, maybe? An 1/8 or so, just right here, just to make sure that the color game fit in here, like, here. Here's a Japanese Pokemon crystal. And just so that it wouldn't, like, move this around. So there's that. But other than that, that's everything. That's everything. And I think this looks great. Really came out how I mostly wanted it to. But yeah, other than the LEDs not really working that well, came out perfectly. And yeah, everything looks great. Really happy that this only had that one issue. Not here, I could do that actually. Yeah, just the one issue of the LED. I would have been so sad if like 7 more issues came up. So upset about that, but it didn't. And this, I'm like officially done with this. But yeah, I might come back to it, but that'll be like in a year or so once I could actually open this thing up again, because I really don't want to open it up. I don't even want to look at the inside or the project files for a while. And I do plan on making everything public, just have to figure out how to do that. Maybe, like, yeah, try and figure out how to do a GitHub or something. Never made one of those, so try and figure that out. Don't know how long that'll take, but should happen sometime after this video comes out. I'll also do updates, whenever I do work on this again, I'll update that. God, I'm so happy this worked out. Oh, God, okay. Well, thank you for watching this. Thank you if you've seen my other videos as well. This is a very young channel, you know. They're like, what, less than... Actually, this should be the 6th video at this point. So yeah, very young channel. It really means a lot if you subscribe, like, or like show friends or something. Just whatever you do. Yeah, if you do subscribe, that means the world to me, since this is, yeah, a very young channel. I'd like to grow this out more, maybe do some more projects. Like, my next one will be fixing up this broken English Pokemon crystal that I got off of eBay. This will be my first official Pokemon game to own if I could get it to work, because, God, these got so expensive. Can't afford that. But yeah, hopefully that one ends up working. But yeah, that should be my next video. But yeah, if you enjoyed everything, maybe you could try this out yourself, you know, give it a try. Once I post all the files and everything, see what your experience with it is. Although I'm assuming most of you probably don't want to bother with that, just because it is quite tricky, and you have to use a SP motherboard, so, and those are a bit expensive as well. So maybe not, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll like sell pre-built ones of these, maybe, but that'd be like way down the line. Yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, like, subscribe, do everything. Share this around with friends, other Game Boy enjoyers. Yeah, and leave your thoughts and comments. I read all of them, just because there's only like 4 maximum across my channel, I think. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.